First of all, I'd like to say good morning. Uh, and Susan, the wrong thing is to sit back and do nothing. That's the wrong thing. And that's for all of us. I like to take away the component of color and make it a human. It's a human problem. It's a people problem. It's not a we can take away the black and white issue in it, the color issue in it, and just make it a humanity problem. And then it can be something that where we can be more transparent and more comfortable. And we have to get rid of the barriers. We have to get rid of the guilt and shame because it's toxic, guilt and shame. Now, if you want to have guilt and shame, if you want to have shame, make it healthy shame. Make it the shame that says, that gives yourself permission to be human. But if we continue to just operate out of the toxic shame, then that's continue to keep us all in bondage of our own thought patterns. But what we have and what I see in what I've been a victim of, even myself, it's so heartening because it's coming from people, from an agency, from an organization that this world is supposed to trust. But what we're really having and what we're really seeing, I as a black man, is modern day lynching. And so what we need to do is start calling it what it really is. What we need to do is stop making excuses as to why it's happening. There's not a black, brown, no person, a color, no person that's breathing deserve to be killed at the hands of an agency or organization that is supposed to be in place to protect and to serve. That's not supposed to happen. That shouldn't be existing. But it exists because it's condoned. It's condoned. And so to sit back and do nothing, that's the wrong thing. I'm waiting to hear back from Michael McBride, who is one of the front runners of the Black Lives Matter. Talk with my bishop, and we are organizing. And it's not that people of color know what to do neither. They just know, and we all just know what we're tired of what's happening. We're just tired of what's happening. And it's not a new thing. It's not a new thing. I think this morning, and I've been listening to this news, and Susan, I very seldom listen to the news myself. I didn't even know there was a black woman killed by the police officers. I didn't know that until yesterday, because I get focused on doing what I do. And then, yet and still I speak about how marginalized people and people of color need to wake up. And then I realize I've been asleep because I want to focus on what I believe I need to do and what's right for the world that I live in, my life. But I've been just as asleep. And for me, I refuse to to keep sleeping. I know my voice can be heard. I know my voice makes a difference, and I have to use it. And I'm using it for something to change. We're looking for change. We're not looking for something to stop for a month, to stop for a year. We're looking for complete change. We need change in policies. We need change with what we're going to be calling for, and this is the level in which we're looking for change. We're looking for every mayor to go and investigate every officer they have and fire every racist officer. Now, people can say, well, that's like far-fetched. Okay, but we're reaching that far. because we want permanent change. And it's not just permanent, we want permanent change for our society. Because when I look at the unrest in Minnesota, and I'm looking at the population of people, they're not just Black. They're not just Black out there protesting. They're not just Black out there and causing the destruction. The people. And it's people that will make the difference. It's all of us. We all have biases. Every person that breathes have biases. And we just have to acknowledge our biases, go within ourselves. Biases can be changed. That's the best thing about it. But they can only be changed when we come to the acceptance of it, and this is what I'm working with. So as a people, because it's past a Black issue, it's past a brown issue, it's past an Asian issue, it's past different cultures. It is a societal issue. When we have an organization, it's an agency that was designed to protect and to serve. But yet, who do you call? When you have an individual where the whole incident is not even a violent incident, it's not even a criminal, it's not even a felony criminal incident. You got to counterfeit $20, and who's to say that's what it was? I don't know. And I've been sitting here looking at this tape, and never once did he pose a threat. You got 4 officers. Never once did he pose any kind of overpowerment on any one of them. He may have resisted some, but to the point where this officer, you look at this picture, this officer's kneeling on his neck with his hands in his pocket and looking at the camera like, what do you want to do? Like, this is just so normal. He's so naturally, it was a natural thing for him. What tells me that wasn't the first time he done this. But yet within the agency, they allow it. They turn the blind eye. So we, to sit back and do nothing is the wrong thing. And I wouldn't care what color you are. I don't care where you come from. Because at any point in time, there's a risk of it happening in your own backyard. So we have to look at it. We have to, every person in America should feel they need a voice to say. What to say, that's where it comes from our hearts. Because we're not sure what to do. You got clergy, and this is where my concern is that the level of anger has boiled over to where clergy is just fed up, and they're willing to not preach. They're willing to not pray. They're willing to go further than praying. That's scary. That's scary because I hear the undertone to we need to do more than pray. And that's scary. Then is, and so that's when I made up my heart that I got to stand for more than pray, but I got to find out what that is. I know it's not burning down buildings. I know it's not violence. I know it's not. And then, as I was sharing yesterday, and then we have to develop a commitment to whatever the strategy is, because not everybody's gonna always agree on the same strategy. But we gotta let history and learn from history. We just have to learn from history because this is not new. And if we go back in history, we can probably get some good strategies from history. That's how I see it. I was discriminated against Black people when I was raised up because I was half-breed. I looked more half-breed when I was younger than I do now. And so I understand what it's like not to be accepted and stuff, and to be discriminated and be always having to fight and all this violence. I understand that. And then I look at myself and I look at where I come from, and I see people. My heart sees people. And I would say to have hatred, that's hard to do. But I have a strong hurt right now. I have a strong hurt, but Susan, I appreciate your heart. I appreciate everybody here. I think of all of you. I go to IEA conferences, and you can count how many Black faces in the whole building of 1,500 people. And I feel thankful, and I get to know people of different cultures and a different backgrounds, and I get to know them, and they get to know me, and I'm just thankful for that. And I sit here, and that's why I acknowledge racism. I know it exists. It's not a blind eye to it, But then I say, and I look at my life, and because I get to know people from different backgrounds, different colors, different races, and I don't have that hatred inside of me. I don't like how other people treat people. I don't like it. It's hurtful, and I feel so many times I have a responsibility. I have a responsibility as a Black man when I'm in the presence of different races. I have a responsibility to change people's mindset towards a Black man. I have that responsibility in my life, in this world. Then I take that on because it's a fear-driven phobia of people's ideals and what they learned and what they heard. And it just rises up to the point of no end. And it just breeds hatred towards someone you have not a clue of who they really are. So all this killing, and what makes it so bad, it's being done by agency, an organization that was supposed to develop to protect and to serve. And they're treating people of color like they don't matter, and all the way to modern day lynching. That's all it is. And once we start calling it what it is, maybe we can stop being desensitized by it. It's the fear that's binding everybody. It's the fear to talk about these topics of racism and talk about these things of color and talk about the actions and the perceptions of how I perceive people because they're from here and from there. We can't be afraid to have this to be an open dialogue. I'm sitting with a young man last night. I'm sitting with him, I'm talking with him. And in my mind and in my heart, all I'm saying is all he needs to do is know the Enneagram. All he needs to know is be introduced to the Enneagram. And I know that will get him over this area of addiction, this area of unworthiness, this area of guilt and shame of being lost. I know, and I'm saying this. And then I'm saying to myself, how do I do it? How do I get this to, how can I help him in this area? And he comes from such a ugly background. But we can't be afraid of it. We just can't be afraid. We got so many people that are locked up in fear that's what's running and driving this whole hatred thing, and that's the whole key right there. So, and one thing I've learned and come to accept with this Enneagram community, I know at least with EPP, because that's where I'm connected to, That thing is tied and knitted so tightly with love. And I was taught through this book they call the Bible that love conquers all things. And I have seen it numerous of times. It's not the easiest thing to do. That's why it conquers everything. Yes, I was just sitting here and I was thinking, when you're in the presence of a black person, and many times we don't know what word to use. We don't know whether to call them African Americans or black, and ask them. And then we have to get to the point that's how comfortable this whole thing has to get to. I have to get so comfortable that I'm comfortable asking a black person, what do you prefer, African American or being called black? So we have to get comfortable. We have to be willing to change our perception, how we view people of color. Once upon a time, people would cross the street when they had to pass me, but I deserved that because the way I was. But today, when people walk, it's my responsibility to let them feel comfortable because I'm still black, I'm still big, but the whole perception and persona that I give is totally different today than I did before. And we see the beauty and love in people, but are you willing to challenge yourself to see the beauty and love of a person of color? I see Susan do it all the time. Matter of fact, she did it with me. She's seen something inside of me that I didn't see in myself. And that's why I'm here today. But are we all willing to do that? Can we do that? What do I need to do within myself to get to that place? How open can I allow my heart to be? And that's what, when we talk about doing the work, that's the type of work that we must be willing to do in order to be proactive and make a difference in these uprisings that's going on. I was wondering, and it just came to me, what I'm supposed to do. And I got this picture of a bridge. And I have to be that bridge. I have to be the bridge for people to walk over from both sides to integrate. I have to be that bridge. Thank you.